Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to TAP India. For those of you who don't know what TAP is, it's a collective of galleries we've got together to present exhibitions and events for the public that loves art. And through our events, we plan to educate and engage with people who love art. And with speakers like we have today, like Malvika Singh, we hope to engage you in different ideas about the arts and about culture. We've had talks on collectors, we've had talks on curators, and we've started this series of talks on museums and public spaces. We've done one on the public museum at Trivandrum, and this is our second talk where Malvika Singh will be talking to us about the revival in Rajasthan. To introduce our speaker for this evening, Malvika Singh is a publisher, is a writer, and has been a journalist for both the print media as well as the television. She has been on several committees, several advisory boards, and has been involved in implementing a lot of the cultural movements that have happened over the last many, many years. And the most recent project that she did was to be the cultural advisor for the former government of Rajasthan, where she did this absolutely amazing, fantastic job of reviving an entire series of organizations, institutions, and spaces that brought the culture of Rajasthan alive in different aspects. And that's what she's going to share with us today. And very, very welcome, Mala. We're so happy to have you here on TAP. And thank you for agreeing to be with us. And one of the things that I was talking to Mala just before we started was about the ideas of how she actually did this without any funding, with a great challenge, which obviously she enjoyed very much. And, there are so many intricacies in working with the government. There's so many things about bringing community spaces out and, happening, to make them happening. I mean, we did have spaces in the past, like art temple festivals and things like that. But with urbanization, of course, all this is gone. And you have brought this alive in Rajasthan. So tell us, over to you. Tell us all about this. We're all waiting to hear.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much for having me share this experience that I had under the stewardship of Vasundhara Raje when she became Chief Minister of Rajasthan for her 5-year tenure. She actually called me when she became CM and she said, I would like to create public spaces for the arts in Rajasthan. In fact, I'd like the whole state to be an open-air public art gallery. So I said, what does that mean? So she said, well, I can't allocate much money, but I'd like you to go out there, find young professionals, all of whom should be under the age of 40, at which point I interrupted and I said, at 72, very difficult to know too many people who are under 40. But so we compromised and said under 50. And she said to me, just look at the list of museums here, the kind of forts we have, the public spaces we have, the gardens, many, many venues, and just transform them with a bunch of people and raise money from the private sector. So I said to her, this is going to be very, very difficult. I don't think I can really manage this. And she said, go home and think about it. So I lay in my bed and thought about it. And I thought, well, if we don't take money from government, then government doesn't have ownership of those spaces. Then the public has ownership of those spaces. At which point I went and sat with her. We spelt out all kinds of things. And then Valmik Thapar came up with an idea at the same time in Ranthambore, where he spoke to the then railway minister, Suresh Prabhu, and suggested to him that the local artists in Ranthambore paint the walls of the railway station. And I thought, well, why don't I just steal that idea too? So I went and spoke to the chief minister and she said, all right, take 10 railway stations, get your permissions from the central government, because the station comes under the central government. So anyway, we got that. We went through that hurdle. Since Mr. Prabhu had already agreed to 1, he agreed to the balance 9. And then we identified local painters because the skill still lives on in the hands of young people. And we got the collector to raise the money through the collector's funds to paint the railway stations, and so on and so forth. So I think I'll start now with the presentation. We decided to do a campaign in Rajasthan, an ad campaign, and rather than all the Maharajas and looking back into the past, we said, let's look into the future. Jaane kya dikh jaye. God knows what you'll come across in this wonderful state. Next. So art in the public domain. We started with this. We said, let's get the local folk artists to paint bus stops and just give it a little bit of sparkle. And then the 3-wheeler. Next. And then the 3-wheelers. So we got about 100 3-wheelers painted. Next. And then we used the gardens of Albert Hall, which is the old museum, to house and show and exhibit art installation done by local people in Rajasthan from across the state. This is all local art that we identified and brought to this public space near Albert Hall. Next. This is the first railway station that we did. We'll come to Ranthambore, which was actually the first in order. But this is Bharatpur. Birds. We got the birds painted. Young people, as you can see, painting. They've still got the skill. Next. Next. Yeah, so that's the kind of perspective you got. You walked through the railway station and the walls were covered with surface embellishment. Surface embellishment happened in the palaces. We decided to bring it to the people. Next. Now, this is the Jaipur railway station where we got folk artists to come and paint. Next. Yeah, that's another view of that station. This is Ranthambore. You can see that at the station, they sort of created a fort wall. And these are the local Ranthambore artists who painted this. Next, we can just go through these slides. Here, this is the entrance. You can see the train. And so there's a dramatic entrance into a railway station where tourists feel that they're entering the forest. This is Udaipur. Again, the style is different in Udaipur from the painting. So we did this jal of floral, which is normally on the borders of paintings. And that is the Srinathji temple in front. And carry on. And this is, again, Srinathji, the cows, the temple precincts. Next. That is the top left-hand corner is a map of the Nathdwara temple. And as you see, there was all this other stuff there. We just painted around it because I decided that if I'm going to wait and get permission to actually remove what is already there, we'll never start or finish. So we just went for it. Next. This is the Jodhpur station. That's the Bapuji Ka Phad, which we got painted on the walls. Next. And that's another detail of that. This is the station. This is again Bapuji Ka Phad. You can see this is the ceiling of the station. And that's the outside of the station. This is the Kota station, where we got painters of the Kota school to paint a mural on the wall. And they've done it rather well. This is the Udaipur station. Again, look at the young painter. To me, that was very important, that these young people were still able to bring their skill onto, this time a wall, but onto paper as well. That's a pillar there. Next. That's a ceiling. I just said to the painter, I said, why don't you take a shield, a battle shield, and put it on the ceiling? And that's what he did. Next. These are cartouches we did. I had wanted to put poetry in the cartouches. And the collector said to me, you know, ma'am, I don't think we should do that because, you know, you don't want anything religious, any if you do it in one language, in one script, there might be objections. So I said, listen, we can't argue about this. Just put flowers and animals. They transcend all borders. Next. So here is another view of that ceiling. And in the cartouche, we put in the flowers. It's very, very fine work, as you can see, as a mural on a railway station wall. Next. I'm spending a lot of time on the railway stations because they are quite spectacular, and it made people feel a sense of pride. You know, normally you see this only in palaces. And now we just brought that skill. Now, this is interesting. Abha Narayan Lamba was working with me on various architectural renewals there, and she did a little printout of Jaipur city. So I said, why don't you just take that computer printout and put it on a wall? And that was an experiment we tried in the second station in Jaipur. Next. Now, this, I think, is the most beautiful. I said to the painter, he rang me up on the phone. He said, ma'am, and by the way, I wasn't visiting these sites. In fact, it's a horrible thing to say, but I haven't been to these stations except Jaipur and Udaipur and Ranthambore, Savai Madhopur. The painter rang me and said, what should I do? I said, just go into the palace and look at the work on the walls of Badal Mahal and replicate it. And this is what he did. Next. Next. So this is quite spectacular. And at one point, the station master said to me on the telephone, he said, ma'am, can we put a rope in front so people don't spoil it? I said, not at all. Let people walk past it, let it get spoiled and get it renewed. Get that same artist or his son or some shagird of his to repaint it every 2 years from your funds. Okay, now we go into the next section. This is the reinvention of heritage sites. Next. So we took Albert Hall as a start, and we got a music festival done using the background of the backdrop of the building as the stage. So this is a Qawwali in process. Next. Next. Museum shops. There were no museum shops at all these museums. So we decided, I mean, it's an old hat idea all over the world, but we didn't have any. So we started the museum shop. Here is one example. Now, in Rajasthan, they have something called the Kawad, which is a wooden device which has a story written on it. And each of those little squares tell you the story. I decided to use that Kawad and got a young group called Frog Mag to actually make a mobile souvenir Kawad, a modern Kawad, which we could then move from site to site to sell souvenirs that were made site specific. Next. Nahargarh. Now, I'd like you to hold on this. This is the summer palace at Nahargarh Fort, which is the other fort other than Amer overlooking Jaipur city. It was lying abandoned there, and I requested the chief minister. I said, can we do something in the summer palace? And it was very strange. I was sitting in Delhi and I got a phone call from Peter Nagy of Nature Mort, who said to me, you know, Mala, I'd really like to get a fort or a palace in Rajasthan and create a sculpture gallery, international, in his drawl, American drawl. And at that point, I thought to myself, you know what, I'm really going to fix you. So I said, go to Jaipur, go look at this beautiful palace and transform it in 9 months. You have 9 months to do it and no money. I'll give you the palace to use. You will have to work with the Archaeological Survey of Rajasthan. You will not be able to knock a nail into the wall. You will have to create whatever you create, respecting the sanctity of the building, and you will have to raise money. So he and Aparajita Jain raised the money, and 9 months later, they opened India's first international sculpture gallery. Next. So that's the courtyard, and that is the sculpture. You can see that's Subodh Gupta's ambassador car and various other sculptures. Next. That is Vikram Goyal's modern sculpture, having a conversation with the cupolas and the finials of the past. Next. And those are the inside rooms. So you can see the conversation of then and now, floral motifs, very contemporary sculpture, furniture, the burnt furniture. Yeah. Next. And now you can carry on, show the visuals. So you get a sense of the space of this palace. And we had hundreds and hundreds of people walk through it. Now here I'd like to say that, can we go back one? We had amazing number of people coming through. And that was what was heartening. Local people from the city always felt awkward going into a museum that was sort of looking very grand. Now here it was free on the weekend. The tickets were nominal and they came through and thousands came through. But when I say thousands, on one day we could have had 20,000 people walk through that museum. It was unheard of till then. That museum is still alive and kicking. Next. Now, in that same area, they had already started a Madame Tussauds kind of imitation. And it was quite kinky and quite funny. So we left it there. So you have that sort of rather fun modern thing, and you have this very serious contemporary art thing. And we wanted to create a restaurant there. Next. And this is the modern inlay work in glass Sheesh Mahal that was done in one of the palaces there, one of the sub palaces. These are just some details of the workmanship. This is another room there. Conservation projects. So then I was told, well, you know, we have so many buildings. Why don't we involve the archaeological survey to actually list a whole bunch of them and restore them? And over the years, we would then reuse these for other things as tourism opened and expanded. So that's the before and after, and you can run through these. So we worked very hard on restoring something like 45 such places. Stepwell. Now, there were 18 state museums. They were run by the culture department of the Rajasthan state. They were all falling apart, a little sleepy. The bulb had fused in most of the sockets. They were really, really looking decrepit. We decided to invite, because you had to go through the tender process. Now that's the government. Again, you have to deal with tender, but you have to know how to deal with tender. So you have to win over the bureaucrat. And he then facilitates the tender process, which is what we did. I want to go into all the details. It was very boring, but we had 18 museums and we brought in first-timers and experienced museologists to do our museums for us. And 18 museums were restored. Bharatpur, Sikar, Pali, small towns, big towns, Jaipur. And I'm going to run you through all the pictures of the museums. Albert Hall, retro museum done by the British. We just cleaned it up. One thing I couldn't do was to keep the hours open till, carry on, keep the hours open till 11 at night. You know, museums for some obscure reason open at 10 and close at 5 when people are supposed to be at work. So when do they come to the museum? So that's the next step when we are able to do it again. And now, would you imagine that these are museums in a small district town like Pali or Sikar? You know, it gave a terrific sense to people of their culture, gave it pride. They could take their families, their grandchildren, their children to visit. And I wanted to actually make these 18 museum spaces the hub for cultural activity on the weekend in all these small towns and cities. So, you know, have an eating space there, you have performances happening. Now, Bharatpura, here I have to tell you, And it was an amazing job done. This looks like Versailles. All this stuff was lying there. She just redid the facades, the walls, and cleaned up everything. And this is a really stunning museum. And I think all of you at some point should visit it just to see what can be done. Now, if we can keep our museums open till 11 at night and have an eatery attached to it and a music performance happening, the city would congregate, the town would congregate, and there'd be a sense of belonging. This is Jodhpur. This was a state museum. Again, you can see it was built for it. This was done by Siddharth Das, and it had so much sculpture, he didn't know what to do with it. And so he's done it really rather beautifully. Now, Jawahar Kala Kendra. Stop on this shot, please. I'd like to talk about this a bit. This is a building that was built by Charles Correa. He built it. His concept was the planetary system, the universe, the stars above. As you can see, a star there. And it fell apart because, it became sort of half-dead variety entertainment center. It was falling apart as a building as well. So the chief minister in this particular case allocated funds to restore it back to its original. And that was triggered by the fact that Charles Correa visited Jawahar Kala Kendra about 2 years before he passed on, and was very, very disturbed and depressed about how it looked, rang me up and said, is there anything we can do? So I spoke to the chief minister and she said, absolutely, we will. And it was his wife, Monica Correa, who actually came when we managed to complete it. And she gave us a thumbs up on it. Next. This has now become a cultural center where you can host exhibitions. We have had wonderful exhibitions here. I'm just going to quickly show you the spaces, how they were restored. There's a library, a reading room, an auditorium, a black box theater, an open air amphitheater, large spaces for exhibitions, a cafe. If you look at the table closely, it's a waxing moon and a waning moon. All the stages are the tabletops. Next. So these are just perspectives of this absolutely stunning structure by Charles Correa, now restored. Next. We then decided we'll do a lot of, music, plays, Mangnihars, modern Mangnihars, get acrobats, get modern theater, get modern dance to happen, cafe. So the JKK Cafe opened here, and it became a great hit. Everyone from the city would come here regardless. Now here I'd like to just stop and say, just the fact that this kind of restoration and reinvention and revival had happened, local young people in Jaipur said, why don't we start cafes? So you saw cafes, small museums starting across the city, run by private individuals, which again gave a soul to the new generation and for the new generation, and the city began to rock. Next. The Jaipur Lit Fest we know about, and that was the first thing that started and triggered everything. Next. And on the basis of this, now look at this crowd. This is what Jaipur Lit Fest draws. At which point we decided, why not some music festivals? So based on the success of the Jaipur Lit Festival, we started Sacred Pushkar. Here is the Pushkar Lake. We decided that, now can we just stop here for a minute? We decided to do a festival on the ghats and use the steps of the ghats for people to sit, and then right across like an amphitheater, because music and sound travels very well across silent waters, still waters.
And I don't know what these people are doing there. Bihari. Yeah.
Sorry?
Income.
Can we unmute you, please? The others, please unmute yourself.
Okay, so this
Tradition company.
festival,
Huh?
this festival, we had to talk to the pandits in the temples around there because they thought, why are these people intruding on our space? And we won them over finally, to cut a long story short. So this is the first one. Next. This is at night. And it all happened at night. We made the whole area pedestrian so that people walked to the venue. And this was sacred Jaipur. So then we said, sacred Pushkar. And then we said, why not? And that's a beautiful evening just before. And that's how we sat on the Ghat steps for viewing the festival and listening to the music. So this was transforming a venue. Then we thought, why not an international music festival? So we went to Udaipur and we started the Udaipur World Music Festival with Sair. Next. So we took venues. I'd like to stop here and say this is the lake. And from Jagmandir, which is an island on the lake, we started the morning music. So these are morning ragas. That's Aruna Sairam. She did a Jugalbandi one year with someone who came and recited Gregorian chants. And that was the most amazing morning. Next. There she is. Now that was in the evening, at night, at the stadium. And look at the number of people. I'd like to stop here and just tell you, we had international musicians, rock artists, Indian singers, all coming together here at this stadium. It was free to the public, and you can see the numbers. I don't have to give you any data on that. And everyone was singing and dancing with their hands in the air, enjoying that moment. And that carried on for 5 years. Next. They just joined in. These are just wonderful. The experience was wonderful. These are all people who came from overseas. And it was such a coming together of cultures that one got very emotional actually in the first time we put it together. This is an afternoon show at another location on another lake. Again, from across the world, music from across the world. This has been a great, great success. Travel photo Jaipur. Next. Okay, we'll stop here for a moment. Photography. Why not a photography exhibition out in the open? It was the mandate of the Chief Minister. She said, make it an open air art gallery. So here it is. We used the facades of old buildings very carefully, being actually supervised by the Archaeological Survey of Rajasthan. And we created, Nikhil Padgaonkar created this great festival of photography in Jaipur. Next. So we used the arch and we blew up the photographs to sort of give it depth of field. That's the old police headquarters veranda being used. There's Hawa Mahal behind you. And there's a viewer who's enjoying herself thoroughly. And this one has even got a bag, Travel Photo Jaipur, handmade in Rajasthan. Now here, unfortunately, the slides are a little wonky, but I'll start from the end. After let me start from the beginning on this image. We decided that we would go to all the Khadi clusters in Rajasthan and link contemporary Indian fashion designers with the Khadi clusters to create collections for a huge fashion show that would last over 5 days called Rajasthan Heritage Week. This was curated, coordinated. It was the brainchild of Prasad Bidappa, who came to Rajasthan and then brought all his strength of knowing everybody he knows in the fashion world to Jaipur. And we ended it by taking a lot of the work that was done to London to get orders so that you can keep the khadi processes going regardless of just that 5-week event. Next. 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 So Rajasthan Heritage Week. We used Jantar Mantar, Albert Hall for the fashion extravaganza. Next. And then we created these sets and we got, there's Abraham Thakur, you got Rohit Pal, you had Ritu Kumar, you had Rajasthan, well, you got all the names there. Next. And then in the afternoon, we had expert lectures. We had young people come and talk to all these fashion designers. We opened it up so that there was none of this them and us. We were all there together. We were all learning from each other. And the response from the local public of Rajasthan, particularly Jaipur, was amazing. Next. We also got, now we'd like to stop here. We also, for the first time, got the weaver to walk the ramp with the designer. So you've got all the weavers here, master weavers, walking the ramp with the designers who've used their weaves to create collections for a contemporary audience and buyer. Next. We also created these craft pavilions at Diggy Palace, which was the venue, which is the venue for the Jaipur Lit Fest as well. And vendors were given free space to come, bring their wares, sell, talk to buyers, potential buyers, and transact business. Next. Performers interspersed the shows or local performers. It was open to the public in the evening. It was just a wonderful, wonderful mela of modernity and tradition. State Archives. I'd like to stop on this. Dayanita Singh rang me one day and said to me, the great photographer, and she rang me and she said, you know, I want to do a whole collection of photographs on files that lie in government offices, in storehouses, etc. And I'd like to go and shoot in Rajasthan. So she started that tour of Rajasthan and she arrived at the Bikaner State Archives. This is what it looks like. It had already been designed by the Maharaja years ago, and it is today the State Archives. All these are the Bahi Khatas of the past of the royals of Rajasthan. Next. That's Dayanita's camera, by the way. That's the Kota store and so on. And she then fell upon, in Ajmer, I'd like to stay on this one, an archive, a forgotten archive of films, 35mm films. And she sent me this picture. And she said, what do we do? So I said, you know what? I think we'll create a film archive in Ajmer and a viewing theater and a library of film. So next. So we did that. These are all old films, from Bicycle Thieves to stuff from Films Division archives. Next. And this gentleman got an award from the state for all he has done for years is look to see that the film strip has not got congealed. He has kept them very safe as much as he could without any resource allocations. Because as you can see, it's a decrepit place. We have now given him a new building, which is finished. And he is there with a viewing theater, with an archive. People come, it's online, and it's a very, very successful institution now in Ajmer city. Next. Living legacies. Okay, next. Now, this is a building, I'd like to stay on this. It's a building that was built at the time of the British, and it was the art school. It had all fallen apart. And the chief minister said, why don't you go and think of what you can do to this building? I will get it restored with the funds that I can get from the smart city coffers. So the building was restored. Next. Next. wonderful open spaces, 3 floors high, it goes up to. Look at the kind of perspectives you get. Wonderful galleries for exhibitions. I'd like to stop on this one. And she said, but I have no money to give you to do something there. You can't create a museum there because you need money for museums. You have to buy stuff. You have to hire curators. You have to get experts in. So I was really stuck. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we give the spaces free as gallery space to people who have great collections, private collections, and let them come and expose their collections to the public for a period of 6 months, sometimes a year, depending on how you sign the contract. And we started doing that. And this was the opening of the first one. That's Brij Bhasin has taken one space, and Mr. Kasliwal, another space that faces it, and Mr. Mitch Kreitz on the left side. And we opened the ground floor. And that became a museum of legacies, personal, private legacies. Next. Didn't know what to do in one of these rooms. So I got the puppet maker who makes small puppets to make larger than life puppets and just hung them in the room. So this represents puppets in Rajasthan. Next. So that is the from the street, that's how it looks. And it goes up 3 floors. And we have a restaurant here also, a little cafe. Next. This was Mitch Kreitz gallery, marble work that's being done even today. It's a new piece. And this was part of his collection of Gond art. And this is Pooja Singhal's collection of Pichwais. Okay. And then one morning, I was rather bored sitting around, and I went to the chief minister and I said, can I go and see your jail for women? So she raised an eyebrow and thought I must have gone really rather gaga and said, all right, go. So I went to the Central Jail for Women. Next. I'd like to stay on this picture. This, look at the floor, spotlessly clean. The women in white are convicts, they are murderers. They've done something that has given them, they are criminals. The others are under trials in the colored clothes. Now, what would these women have done? So I asked the woman who's in charge of the jail, I said, what is it that you did that brought you here? So she said, you know, I've been married to this man who beat me and beat me and beat me for years and years. And one day I got irritated and I pushed him and he fell and cracked his skull and died. And so I'm a murderer and I'm here and I'm living in this jail. So she took me through the jail. Next. They grind spices, organic, and then they package and sell. They make razais in the jail. I don't know what to do with it. Their kids come, and this is a creche in the jail, but look how clean everything is. So how orderly it all is. Next. This is the cell. Just hold on this. They have a thali, they have katori, glass, each one. This is where they sleep at night. That's their bedding behind them. Next. So I said, now, why don't we start a jail shop? Next. Okay, I'd like to hold on this. I said to one of the women, I said, listen, if we start a jail shop to sell everything that you make, what should we call it? And she said, Ashaएं, hope. So I said, fine. So there was this garage, as you can see, it's a garage with those shutters. I got the male painters in the jail, of the men's jail, to paint clouds on this. And they actually painted the shop frontage and showed those birds flying. They want to be free. I said, why birds? He says, we want to be free. They grow vegetables in the men's jail. So I said, you sell fresh vegetables every day. Brought the men in, the men convicts. The male convicts actually weave daris. So I took Martan Singh and Rakesh Thakur to the jail. They gave the male convicts designs to make daris. They started producing those daris. They also paint. So we said, we'll sell the paintings as well. So we opened the shop. Next. They painted that wall. That's the male convicts, and the other wall to the jail. And that's the main road. We created this courtyard. All this work is done by male convicts. That's the loom on which they weave the daris. This was the opening day. As you can see, the cops are there and the vegetables are being sold. And this man, I'd like to hold on this. I said to him one day, I said to him, "Aapke haath mein kala hai." And he burst out laughing. He said, "Don't say that, because I've murdered 7 people, which is why I'm here." So I said, "Oh my God, and what are you going to do when you get out of here?" He said, "You know, I'm going to start a school for all the young boys who've got no jobs. I don't want them to go my way, and I'm going to teach them how to weave daris." So next. And that was the inside of the shop. So I'd like to hold on this. No money. How do you do a shop? Everyone says, "Oh, you know, we'll need 5 lakhs for the designer and then 20 lakhs to do the interiors, and we need this." And I said, "Look, this garage had these hideous khanchas with white tiles." I said, "Just paint them black and paint the walls red and paint the floor red and paint the ceiling red. And let's go." So the women made achar. They all are good cooks. So they made achar, we sold the achar. There are rajais in those covers. Next. These are the daris and the paintings on the wall. The paintings at the back are made by the men there in the male jail. Next. Bikaner House. So Bikaner House was sitting in Delhi, government office, a bus stop it was. At which point the chief minister said, "Transform this, make it into a cultural center, but there is no money. I will just clean it up for you." So Abha Narayan Lamba came in, cleaned it up, because we must understand that in these partnerships, what we established here is that the property is owned by government. So government has the resource to restore that property for use. You have to raise the money from the private sector, from CSR funds and from other donors to do the software element for these structures, which is what we did. So she created the structure for us, and then we started scouring around for people who would come and do things. And because our mandate was young people, the young came. The young came. We didn't charge exorbitant fees for the galleries. The first time we opened the gallery, it was 5,000 rupees a day, air-conditioned gallery. You don't get that for love of money. And young people came and the place started to rock. And I don't have to say very much more about Bikaner House, because I think its reputation is there of what happened over those 5 years, and then how it sort of fell asleep again and needs to be restored and revived again. Next. That's a shop in Bikaner House. That's the restaurant, Chor Bazaar. This is the art gallery, the smaller art gallery. And then there was a bigger building. You can go through these slides. There was a bigger building, which we restored again. And that is now an art center. And it needs to be, and now here we had shows in the rear garden of Bikaner House. These are just images to give you a sense of the kind of activities that happened there. Embassies came in joint ventures. Rohit Pal did an evening there. There was a Legion d'honneur. They used Bikaner House to present the Legion d'honneur to Tikka Saab Kapurthala. Film festivals from Europe, from all over the world, and that's the sense of what happened in Bikaner House. Sari exhibition, fashion exhibition, beautifully done. I mean, this was done by Didier and Hemant Sagar, and they brought out all their old collection, new collection, did a beautiful job of it, which was very, very, very successful. This could match anything anywhere in the world. And then we started to work on merchandise, Bikaner House merchandise, thinking that, you know, as people come, they might want to pick up something. The sky was the limit. And then we said, why don't we use Sunday to do a Sunday bazaar there, which we started. And we got people who were doing small organic farms coming together here, selling their ware, doing a breakfast. People started coming regularly. Next. Future plans. Well, the future plans we've talked about. One was this new art gallery. And we were going to create a space outside where you could have cafes, you could have a pizzeria, you could have a beer bar, and so on and so forth, to just encourage more and more young people to come here and spend, a lot of time doing plays, music recitals, etc. Then there was the first floor of Bikaner House. So Aba Narayan restored that as well. And we were going to have small meeting rooms and an additional gallery and an additional shop space, plus a jazz bar on the roof. Next. The impact. Well, yes, carry on. So we decided that why don't we go into the inner city of Jaipur and light it up? So Aba Narayan Lamba lit the city, the inner city of Jaipur. Jaipur is now a UNESCO heritage site. So this is the kind of work she did. That's the public library, cleaned up the facades, removed the wires, just transformed the old city as much as we could in the time we had. Lots more needs to be done. Next. So street food. Why not street food? Next. So we started Masala Chowk. Masala Chowk was done. I'd like to hold on this. The government was planning something and they finished the structure. They didn't know what to do with this structure on the edge of Albert Hall. So we created Masala Chowk with Meeta Kapoor, who is she runs CI, which is publishing concern. And she is also a great foodie. So she identified all the really iconic street vendors of street food and brought them all here. And this is Masala Chowk. Now, if Masala Chowk could be replicated as an eating space with the 18 museums across Rajasthan, I mean, there's no looking back. Those become cultural open spaces for exhibitions. Everyone congregates around food. You can have music recitals. You can always find space in the gardens of the museum or wherever. And local people need to be brought in to actually take ownership and run these places. Next. So next to Masala Chowk, can we go back a bit? Was this garden, and we decided create a theater. So this is an open air theater. You can see the skyline of Jaipur behind you. And so that became, I mean, I don't have to speak over this. You can see for yourself, it became a city center. Next. Tapri. Now, these are all private ventures. As Jaipur became this kind of active city, people started opening. This is a breakfast place across the city. Next. All private initiative, nothing to do with government. That's the impact. If you can show that things can happen, then it gives the strength and courage to young people to risk their savings and do something. Go, next. Palladio Cafe. So this is, again, surface painting on the walls, very finely done in Narayan Nivas Palace. There's the cafe there. Next. And all local people. Everyone in Jaipur was proud of their city and what was happening to it, the transformation that was happening. And, you know, you can leave it then. Then people are on their own and they have to take it forward themselves. Next. Next. Amrapali Museum was another impact story, I think. Next. So Amrapali started a museum of silver jewelry. It is the most spectacular museum I have been to that shows all manner of silver jewelry of Rajasthan. Next. Next. This was designed by Pramod Kumar KG, who has worked very closely on a lot of projects in Rajasthan. So what I really did was try to bring in people who understood Rajasthan, who were from Rajasthan, from Jaipur, architects who'd worked in Jaipur to come and do Amer. I mean, we did a lot of work in Amer, which I don't think is part of this presentation because it would have just gone on and on and on. But we have done a lot of work in Amer Fort as well and opened it up and had music recitals there and so on. So the idea was to open the place. Next. And to make private people feel that, government is also in conversation with you and understands the need to do all this and the excitement of doing all this. Anokhi Textile Museum. They had done this on their own. Now you suddenly have a jewelry museum, you have a textile museum, you have a sculpture gallery, you have Jawahar Kala Kendra, you have Masala Chowk, you have all kinds of activity happening in the city. Next. Now, City Palace Museum, miniature gallery, again, beautifully done. So the City Palace Museum upgrades, everything upgrades. And there's so much to do in Jaipur at that time. There was so much to do in Jaipur at that time that 4 days was not enough. You were running from one place to another, trying to sort of absorb as much as you could. Jaigarh Fort Museum was there before we all started, using the forts. So this was done by the City Palace and designed, I think, by Pramod. Again, more people start going to all these places. Amar Singh Library and Museum next. This is in Kanauta, which is on the outskirts of Jaipur. I'd like to pause on this. Amar Singh kept a diary, handwritten diary, which became the material used by Suzanne and I've forgotten the name, Rudolph, for their thesis on Rajasthan. And Pramod has designed this. All the documents are there. The archives are there of this man, his recipes, handwritten recipes of Rajasthani cuisine. It is the most wonderful museum set in Kanauta, in the palace on the outskirts of Jaipur. So that came to life. Next. That's what it looks like. There's a reading room. You can go there. You can sit under the trees and have lunch. Next. Taking ownership. I think that I'd like to pause on this. I think that when participation happens between government and the private sector, government looks after its property that it is the owner of. The rest of it is constantly changing. It's fluid. It changes with every generation. It changes within the generation. And for that, young people, middle-aged people, older people have to come in with their ideas, their storytelling, their experience, their past, and make these things come alive. So we built our ad campaign around that. Varunistan, why? Because Varun went to visit there. You see, Neha Sthan, because Neha went there. Jane kya dikh jaye. You don't know, but you go there and you take ownership. So that was the idea of the ad campaign. Next. And that's it. Thank you. Now I'd like to say one last thing before I end, and that is all of this comes to naught when political dispensations change, because one feels that that was done by the other and therefore, we should change it and we should do our own thing. So how do you overcome good works without getting into the political pulls and pressures? Because culture doesn't have those boundaries. It belongs to the people. And one thing we wanted to do, which we couldn't complete, was create something called the Landmark Commission, where you identify non-ASI buildings, because ASI buildings are a different category, they're category 1. Non-ASI buildings in every state, and you put them under a separate, institution, commission. And that commission is operated by people from the professional world of museums, of art history, of lawyers, the works. You bring outside practitioners in and you have ex officio members from government. The chief secretary can be there and the chairman can be the chief minister, so that it is not taken over by government. It is run by professionals. And these are autonomous. This is an autonomous body that then runs all these things we've talked about this afternoon. We weren't able to do it. We've got the legal draft ready, and hopefully one day we will put it into place.
Mala, I don't think you are aware of the comments that there are on the screen, and I don't think you've heard the applause, because people are completely overwhelmed by what you've done. And
I have to say here, Sharan, I haven't done. I have just been the Sutradhar. There have been lots of young people, old people, middle. I've dragged people. I've said, you know, there are lots of IOUs. You better come and deliver here. You know, that kind of thing. I had all kinds of people help me. I have to say, I could not have done it without all of that.
No, but it's amazing that you actually spearheaded it. And, you know, today I brought in a partner who I'm so glad that they are with us today, and that is Vicky Flo, because Vicky Flo is doing a lot of things. And when we hear people like you talking, you know, it is so inspiring for all the flows of all of us, you know, who are trying to do things. And here you've thrown only 1 million ideas. This is not one idea, but 1 million ideas. So thank you.
But I have to say here, I mustn't forget to emphasize this, that if the chief minister does not have the political will. Vasundhara Raje was at the other end of a phone line. She did not allow anything to lag. When her bureaucracy saw her commitment, their commitment doubled. And they sussed me out. They took about 3-4 months to suss me out. They thought, you know, another one of these Delhi walis who's come here, she'll give us gyan and she'll go back to Delhi and forget about us. I had to sit there with them, take them off, have golgappas in the old city, you know, make them fall in love with me, basically. We had great fun together. We explored the city and they became good friends. So they had that. I gave them my time. I gave them my energy. I introduced them to a whole bunch of new people who brought new ideas. They saw that we, as an advisor to Vasundhara Raje, I could only advise her, but they saw the chief minister actually having conversations where she was confronted with something. She said something and they said, no, that won't happen. Young people saying that to a chief minister, they gave alternatives. So she was open to ideas. That's the most important thing. The bureaucrats saw that and knew that we had the political support. So it sailed through 4 years. It was 4 years of very, very hard work.
You know, that's great. I mean, you had Vasundhara Raje. How do we do this with other governments? That's an input that all of us here, you know, who are trying to do something need from you. You know, how do you actually do this? What is the secret of this public-private partnership?
I tell you, I have one idea, which I think Vicky can pick up. Vicky should do a little get together with all the MPs in Parliament and tell each MP to take her constituency, identify one environment, natural environment space that needs to be saluted, one skill and one man-made material heritage, and let them put it together. That defines culture: nature, man-made, and skill. These three, when they come together, that defines culture. Culture isn't a little variety entertainment show. So let them use some of their funds to actually create in the capital town of their constituency an area that is culturally vibrant for their constituency, for the constituents, as well as for us visitors. You will have 565 such spaces in 1.5 years. Why don't they do it? It's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. Then, second, every state capital. If Jaipur can do this, now today you've got Mr. Stalin sitting in Tamil Nadu in your state. What a great team of economists he's put together. So it doesn't take more than 1 year, let me tell you, Sharan, to trigger activity in a city. Just do it. Spearhead
Mala, our
it.
partners today are Flow Chennai. So I'm going to ask you on behalf of them. They haven't told me, but I'm asking you, can you please come on and do a workshop with us on how we can actually do this in Tamil Nadu? Because I know that Tamil Nadu is waiting and will be willing to help us out.
Yes,
Please
certainly.
help us.
Certainly.
Please help us. Because I
Certainly.
think it's you know what you've done and how you've inspired us.
But you know, Sharan, again, I have to say it's not me. You know, you have to identify, for instance, Flow Chennai, identify 10 spaces, send an email to me on those spaces. I'll send it to 10 other people and let's just get ideas what you can do with those spaces. You have to involve people. You know, this top down doesn't work. That's what Rajasthan taught me. It is a
Yeah, it's
lateral
from the
thing.
down. Yeah.
It is, no,
from
it's
the-
lateral. You have to respect each other. Those youngsters used to tell me, no, that's not what our generation wants. Now, if I said, no, you have to do it my way, nothing would have happened. You have to let go and let them do it. Pass the baton. Because Vasundhara's main thing to me was pass the baton. And I
Yeah.
think that is a very important thing, passing the baton.
Yes, I think to pick those efficient youngsters is really important.
And they're people with ideas, you know, first timers who've never done anything, throw them into the deep end, support them outside. You navigate the bureaucracy for them. Don't make them bog themselves down with navigating bureaucracy. Have one person like me. I navigated the bureaucracy for all the people who work there. Bharti Kher said to me, you know, I'm not going to work with the bureaucracy. I said, you don't worry. You bring the ideas there, I'll work with the bureaucracy. That's what you need. You need that bridge.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I think FICCI can play that role because, you know,
Very well.
yes, absolutely.
And CSR funds it can get. It can twist
Absolutely.
everyone's tail. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so I don't know if you have any questions because I think we have lots of compliments. Let me see if there are any questions. Lots of thank yous. Are there any, Ayushi, are there any questions that I need to take that I've missed? Because there are many compliments, Mala, the questions are lost in this. But you know what you've said about working with the government, working with the bureaucracy, Sanjoy asked me to ask you about the SARI project, please.
Sorry?
Sanjay wants me to ask you about the SARI project.
Oh,
Come
God.
on. Yes, it is exciting. I know that. I've
What,
heard a
this
bit. So tell the rest of us.
Which Sanjoy Roy?
Yeah, Sanjoy. Our Sanjoy of Jaipur Lit Fest.
Well, poor Sanjoy, his tail was also twisted for Pushkar. I could never have done it without all these people. Sanjoy, get to Pushkar, you know, kind of thing. SARI project. No, I think that there are two projects. One is telling stories of one's experience. So I took my first SARI and told the story of textiles in my life to the project, which I'll just tell you about. When I got married, my mother said to me, I'm going to give you 12 textiles of India, 12 saris, great textiles of India. And come COVID lockdown, my daughter-in-law says to me, why don't you go to the weavers of 21 great textiles and have one sari woven of each tradition to see that the skill is, if the skill is alive and kicking and as fabulous as it was then, which is what I've done in the lockdown period, if that's what he's referring to. And that is done now. And the manuscript is also ready of the history, the story of textiles in my life, you know, in which one talks about Kamala Devi ji, Puppul Jaikar, Prema Srinivasan, you know, the whole trajectory of all these brand women who actually gave us the textiles we wear today. I mean, they would not have been over had it not been for all of them and their perseverance to keep everything going.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
And now I must say that there are a lot of young people like, you know, there's Swati and all these people who are doing things. Again, I mean, a few names come to mind, but they're reviving, they're putting their money where their mouth is. And it's very, very heartening.
Yes, it is. It is what Swati and Sunaina are doing is
Yeah.
amazing. I have a question from somebody here who asked, what was the impact of art in the jail project, and do you think art has an impact?
See, the jail project, again, I would have liked to have spent far more time on it. What happened there was they got a Pichwai artist to go to the men's jail and teach them how to paint Pichwais. And they did a fairly good job, but I think it's not art impact, all this. I don't understand all this. My thing is very simple. We needed rigorous imprisonment in Rajasthan was making craft. That was rigorous imprisonment. I said, let's bring that out and put it in the market so that people like you and me can buy stuff for our homes that are really good quality stuff. I mean, the painting was really good and the daris are brilliant. Okay. The dari idea came to me and I wanted to start the carpet weaving also because in Bikaner jail, at the turn of the last century, they used to make carpets, fragments of which a police officer called Ajit Singh, I just said to him, I said, you know, I'm sure there are fragments lying around. And he actually found 120 fragments that Mapu saw, Amartya Singh, and said they were VNA quality for display in the Victoria and Albert Museum. I want to make a museum of that, but now I don't know where they're lying because I'm out of it. But continuity, very important, because there's so many things left undone. Not that I have to do it, but somebody there has to do it. You have to take that file and progress it further to another Mala Singh or a Sharanappa Rao or whoever and get on with it. You know, it doesn't have to be in the same module as we had thought it. So I don't know about the impact of art and so on. The impact of art is there, no? The impact of culture is there. It's when you talk about it and you put it into a silo, I don't think it has an impact. So for me, learning from Vasundhara Raje, from her mandate, I grew into a different kind of approach to this, which is open it up for people. That is the impact. Then people come to you and say, "Main bhi ye karta hoon. Can I display my wire horse sculpture in the garden at Ramnivas Bagh?" There was that sculpture I showed you. I said, yes, display it. That's the impact. People feeling a sense of pride in their own
Pride,
space.
yeah, I think the pride. That's
And
what
you
you
know, all
gave
this
them.
business of, you know, are they going to look at Subodh's car? And the guys who came to look at Subodh's ambassador car, but Subodh is a bad example because he identifies with everybody. I mean, everyone identifies with him, with his bartans and his car. And, you know, he's very, it's an Indian idiom. But all the, there were many sculptures that I said, how are they going to look at it? And they all took photographs of themselves in front of it, feeling very pleased. So somewhere there's a connect in the subconscious. You don't have to thrash it into somebody's head. I don't know if I've answered that question, but I don't
think
know
you
how
have.
to deal with words like impact and all that.
No, you have. Somebody's question is, what was the biggest hurdle? I think the lack of money, right? And
No,
the
it
fact
wasn't a
that
hurdle.
made you think.
Actually, you know, Sharan, lack of money was not a hurdle. In fact, it helped me because it forced us to do things without money. And it proved that if you have a will, you can actually deliver it. And people come together and we did it. We did it without money. I mean, people got, of course, Sanjoy raised money, but you can ask him, it was tough for him to get money. It wasn't easy, it wasn't a cakewalk, but he stuck to it and he did it. And Udaipur World Festival, World Music Festival too, you needed money. What was interesting is people came from Gujarat by car through Mount Abu for it, young people. So, you know, it opened up the spaces. Money is required, but I think if you have success, then the sponsor comes back to you.
Yes, absolutely.
If there are thousands of people there, they come back to you. If you're going to say, oh, you know, this is a government arena and you can't put up your poster of your company, then they're not going to come back to you. So you have to be sensible about these things. You have to get out of that government box, get them to think out of the box. That requires persuasion. And half the joy of success is persuading someone to do what they're not used to doing. That's the challenge. And I had a blast doing that.
Thank you. And I think we've had a blast listening to you today because there are many comments. Ayushi has has recorded it all for you because you're not going to be able to read it just now, but we'll send it to you. Thank you, Mala. Thank you. It was fantastic. Thank you, Flo, for partnering with us today. And thank you all for listening in. And thank you again, Mala. I can't
Thank
even
you.
begin to say how much this has meant to everybody, because I think also with this entire mood that people have been in, you've talked in such a fantastically positive way about making things happen. You know, it gives everybody a lot of hope. Just that Ashia is what one of the comments was.
I mean, that was amazing when they said the birds flying, you know, that's the freedom and that we had changed. I mean, for me, it was a great learning experience, and it sort of made me feel it was the greatest classroom of my life. It really was. Learning how to deal with government, with young people, with local people, language differences. It didn't matter. It was just wonderful. And thank you for having me. And sorry if I stumbled and mumbled over some of those slides.
No, you didn't do anything. You were absolutely fantastic. No complaints, nothing. We only have compliments for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharan. Thank you, Flo. Thank you. Thank you for hearing us. Thank you.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. 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 See you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. It's amazing, ma'am. You're fantastic. We are so glad to hear.
Thank
Good,
you.
good,
Thank you
good.
very much. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank
Thank
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.